So here we are at the Lincoln Charger again for yet another range test video. This time it's with our own car. We're really just wanting to try and increase the efficiency of this vehicle and see if we can get a bit more range. So what we've done is we've put insanely expensive Continental EcoContact 6 tyres on it. They're pretty much the lowest rolling resistance we can get, and we're going to do the same range test we always do down to Timaru and back and see if we get a bit more distance. So we're leaving the Lincoln Charger now. Just a quick bit of information for those people who have not seen one of these range tests so far. So we're going to travel at 90 kilometers an hour just because that's the most sort of efficient speed that doesn't drive you crazy and every other road user crazy. We're going to head through the little town of Springston, through Leaston, through Rakaia, Ashburton, and then ending up in Timaru. Then we're going to turn around and come back again. So what we've done is we have recorded the mileages we did at various points in the other car, the other two cars, and put them onto a spreadsheet which we have here. So as we trip down the road, as we go through different locations, we should be able to compare where we were at with the other two cars, which were almost identical, to where we're at with this car, to know whether we are actually getting a better mileage. Alrighty, so here we are in the beautiful little town of Leaston. We have done 20.8 Ks, 378 left on the gasometer, and we're at 95% state of charge, sorry. Just to compare, last time we were at 94% state of charge. We'd done 21.2 kilometers, and there was 377 left on the gasometer. So a little bit of information about this car, just for people who haven't seen our previous range test videos. This is a 2019 BYD E6. It has a 82 kilowatt hour lithium phosphate battery, which is really the main reason why I bought it. It is an ex-commercial taxi out of Singapore. I bought this particular car because it has very low mileage. Your average Singapore taxi does about 75,000 Ks a year, and this car has only 77,000 Ks, not despite being 3 years old. It has a range of, well, the factory says 400. I can get about 335 out of one on the open road. So here we are on the Rakaia Bridge. So this is the Rakaia River. This is one of our really Canterbury's unique braided rivers. These are under quite a bit of threat now, and they are a unique habitat for quite a wide range of species. They are certainly suffering from obviously water quality with agricultural runoff, but also incursions onto the banks. So there's been cases where there's basically been stock in the rivers. There's been people are trying to push the rivers back boundaries further, because the braided rivers don't really have a set boundary that the river moves around all of the time. So from a legal point of view, trying to define where the river is a bit complicated, and that obviously creates a bit of conflict. Okay, so here we are coming into Rakaia. We've done 47.4 kilometers. It says we've got 351 left on the clock, and we're 88% state of charge. Previously we were at 86% state of charge. We'd done 47.7 kilometers, and there was 343 Ks left on the gasometer. So here we are in sunny Ashburton. We have now done 75.2 kilometres. We've 82% state of charge, and there's 327 Ks left on the gasometer. If I look at the previous trip, we were at 80% state of charge. We'd done 74.7 kilometres, and there was 315 kilometres left on the gasometer. It's really too early to say anything because we don't know about things like environmental conditions. I mean, quite possibly we've got a tailwind, I don't actually know. But at the moment we're tracking along well. So here we are entering Hines. So we've got 79% state of charge. We've done 94.3 kilometres. We've got 311 Ks left on the gasometer. Looking at the previous trip, we were 75% state of charge at this point. We'd done 93.8 Ks, and the gasometer said we had we've done 128.5 kilometres. There's 279 kilometres left on the gasometer, and we're at 71% state of charge. If I look at our previous trip, we were at 67% state of charge at this point. We've done 126.6 kilometres and we had 262 kilometres left on the gasometer. So we are ahead at the moment. It doesn't necessarily mean anything at this point, because there's lots of environmental factors to take into account, but it'll be interesting to see where we are at the end. So for people who haven't seen the previous range tests, the reason we bought this car is mainly, I mean obviously the range, but was more importantly was the battery longevity. As someone who's owned this and Leafs a long time, I've watched the batteries on my Leaf decline over the years pretty dramatically, to the point where my car is no longer particularly useful. So I saw a YouTube video the other day of one of these cars in China. So it was 5 years old and it had done 717,000 kilometres. So that's a car that has done nearly, I think, 400 k's a day, that works out to be. So that car's being fast charged, which is often considered to be the worst thing you can do, which is, I think, is a bit of a myth myself, but every single day of the week for that whole time. And according to the driver, the car would still do over 300 k's to a charge, and it was on its original battery. So I mean, I'll link to that YouTube video in the comments here, but that shows you, I mean, that's what you want. You want a battery that lasts for longer than your car does. And I mean, there's just no way that I'll ever get this car to 700,000 k's. We're never going to get there. Alrighty, so here we are in Timaru. We've done 133.7 k's. There's 276 k's left on the gasometer, which lies, of course. And we're 70% state of charge. If I look at our previous trips to Timaru, we were at 66% state of charge. We'd had 132.8 k's, and there was 257 k's left on the gasometer. Alrighty, so here we are in central Timaru. We'll just park up. This is basically where we stopped last time. We've done 154.9 k's. We've got 258 k's left on the gasometer and 66%. So if I look at our last numbers at central Timaru, we were at 62%. We did 153.9 k's and we had 239 left on the gasometer. So it seems like we are ahead. So catastrophically, an absolute disaster. The council have broken the water main at Picnic Cafe, and so they've had to close just as we pulled up. I'm devastated. So here we are entering Winchester. We've done 182.3 k's, 232 k's left on the gasometer, and we're at 60% state of charge. If I look at the last trip, we were at 55% state of charge. We've done 179.2 kilometres, and we were 211 on the gasometer. So we are still ahead of the previous trip. And just one anecdotal observation. I'm not entirely sure it is relevant, but our consumption per 100 k's has declined, I think, from our previous trips. Previous trips, it did get as low as sort of 19 kilowatt hours per 100 k's, but mostly it sat around sort of 21. This trip, it's mostly been around 18, and sort of about 19.6 where it is now is actually the highest it's been so far. So now we're entering Hines. We've done 216.5 k's. The gasometer says we've got 198 k's left, and we're 52% state of charge. If we compare that to our last trip, we were at 46% state of charge. We'd done 213.4 kilometres, and we had 170 left on the gasometer. So we are still ahead by quite a lot. Just a quick 50% of state of charge update. So we've done 222.7 k's, and we've got 191 left. The interesting thing is that the last time we did this at 50%, we'd only travelled 191 k's. So we've arrived in Ashburton now. We've done 231.2 k's. We've got 182 k's left on the gasometer. We are 48% left on the charge. Last time we had 42% left. We'd done 228 k's and there was 154 k's left on the gasometer. Alrighty, so just a quick update. I kind of noticed that our energy economy, our average consumption of energy per 100 k's had climbed since just after we left Timaru, and we've just stopped and had something to eat. And yeah, we've got a significant headwind now, so that will affect our results, but we still seem to be well ahead of where we were before we had these tyres on the car. Alrighty, so here we are in Rakaya. We have done 263 kilometres, we've got 150 k's left in the gasometer, and we're at 41% state of charge. Previously last trip we were at 32% state of charge. We'd done 259.8 k's and we had 113 k's left on the gasometer. Alrighty, so we are back in Leaston and we've got 35% state of charge. We've done 288.6 k's and we've got 125 k's left on the gasometer. So looking back at our previous trip, we were at 24% state of charge. We'd done 285 kilometres and we had 77 on the gasometer last time. So here we are back at the Lincoln Charger again, and we've done 311.8 k's. We've got 99 k's left according to the gasometer, and we're at 29% state of charge. So interestingly, if we look at the previous results, at this point we were at 17% state of charge. We had done 308 k's and the gasometer said 70 kilometres remaining, so we are a fair way ahead of that. It'll be really interesting to see how much further we can go with that last little bit of battery. A quick video, because this is where we stopped with 5% state of charge last time. So we got to 335 k's and then we basically stopped because the car showed 0 range and 5% state of charge. So now we're at 335 k's, but we've still got 22% state of charge, and the car thinks it's got a range of 70 k's still. Alrighty, so now we're really in uncharted territory. We just thought we'd take a quick video because now we've done 350 k's to the charge, and it's still got 18%, and it's still showing 55 k's left on the thing. Alrighty, so we've still got 10% battery remaining and we've done 380 k's. This is just madness. Back at the Lincoln New World, we have got 0 k's on the clock and 6% state of charge. And this is where we finished our trip. Pretty impressively, down to the same point we did last time, we have got 390 k's of range. I mean, that's incredible. That's a 20% increase on what we got without these tyres. However, another E6 driver, who is much more of a man than I could ever be, has told me that I am a wuss and I need to drive this car until it's properly flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to set off again quietly around the block, and we're going to drive this car until it's got 1% battery left. And I guess we'll see how far we get. Worst comes to worst, we've got a Nissan Leaf here and a tow rope, and we will tow it back here. Alrighty, so we are going to return to the charger now. We're at 2%, but throttle response is getting a bit sketchy. It's in whatever the BYD equivalent of turtle mode is, so I feel it's time. 406.6 kilometers to a charge. That is more than BYD say it can do. So BYD originally said that this car could do 400 k's, and people hassled them a bit because they could only get 370 out of it driving it like this. We've just got 406 to 2%. We could, if we eked it out, probably get to 410. But I'm happy. I mean, that there gets me all the way to Wellington. No worries at all. That is an incredible result from where I'm standing. So there you go. Just with a change to good tyres, and obviously driving like a nana, we have managed to make this a 400k range car. I mean, that is amazing. Just by changing to a good tyre. I mean, I can't believe the increase in range. I mean, other than that, we've driven in basically the same way we did for every other drive. The only difference was the very last little bit we were orbiting a couple of roundabouts, but we were doing 50 k's an hour, so that's fair. right? And then we didn't want to get, and it was only the last couple of Ks. Other than that, it was all pretty much 90 Ks an hour. There's a few 80 K zones around here, and obviously 50 Ks through the towns, but amazing. And the thing is, with this car, it's a bit of a blank canvas. So it has the aerodynamics of a biscuit tin, particularly underneath. It is, like, if you look at most modern cars, certainly EVs, they all have skid plates underneath them to make the bottom of the car nice and flat. Does a lot for aerodynamics. This car is terrible. It has big exposed cavities. The battery is basically directly in the airflow. So now that I've seen what can be achieved, I'm pretty keen to go further and build some skid plates, possibly if we cover up the back of the rear wheels, so like a Citroen has, you know, the half the wheels are covered. That gives you quite a bit of efficiency too. But still, I mean, just by spending $1,500 on these Continental EcoContact tyres, we have dramatically increased the range of this car. That is incredible.